Everyone can think about the time when they went out to play and how much fun it was. So, today we're going to be talking about the value of play and recreation in your family. We're going to be talking about the importance of it and how and what we should do in order to include that in our daily existence. So, today we're going to be talking about recreation and play for the family. Welcome. And this is what I want to let you know. Play and recreation are an integral part of a child's growth and development. And this doesn't make any difference whether you live in an apartment or you live in a single dwelling. The children or the child must play. Even in the midst of financial challenges, technology, living location, and lack of space, every effort should be made to include play and recreation in your child's life. So, family recreation is especially important for infants and toddlers for healthy growth and development. We know that the more the child moves around and the more they get a chance to think and to reason and to use their body and their bones and their muscles, the healthier they will be. Families with young children who participate in recreation together may help their children even feel more valued. So, play has a very, very, very important place in the child's life. So, what are you going to learn today? The definition of play and recreation. Is there a difference? And the benefits of play and recreation. And then we're going to be talking about the barriers or challenges to play, and there are some. We're going to recognize those. We're going to talk about the disadvantages of no play. So, in some families, in some areas, some communities, the children do not get a chance to play. We're going to talk about what are those disadvantages. And then we're going to talk about where to go and what can you do to include play and recreation in your family existence. So what is the definition of play? Play is an activity for enjoyment and amusement. And so think about to your childhood when you were able to go outside and play or go to the park or whatever. When you did that for play and for enjoyment and amusement, wasn't anything else. Just you wanted to play and have fun. So that's what play is all about, just for enjoyment and the recreation rather than being serious or for practical purposes. There is no heavy purpose to play other than simply enjoyment. So, what is recreation? Recreation is really tantamount to play. It is an activity such as play, but it could also be other things as well. That some things that might amuse you or divert your attention or give you stimulation. But remember, play is for sheer enjoyment. Recreation, you might go golfing for recreation, or you might swim or do something else. Little was it the golf you do it inside it back in your backyard. So different things like that. That's just for amusement or whatever. It maybe diverts your attention, but play is just for enjoyment. So what are the benefits of recreation or play? It has the potential to bring families together. Look at your picture. Don't they look like they're having a lot of fun? And they are. So the potential to bring families closer together. Play can be structured to support families by providing a safe and enriching environment. Play also is vital for normal development. Now remember, the brain, the body are still developing and growing. So play assists or recreation assists in this normal development. Family members we know are happier and they're easier to get along with when they incorporate recreation and play in their lives. What are the benefits of recreation and play? What are the benefits? Recreation is important for emotional, psychological, social, cognitive, and physical development of children. Remember, I said that everything is growing and developing in the child, everything. And so recreation and play simply makes it develop and grow even better. And is also critical for general health purposes. The bones and the muscles and things they're all strengthened more when the child enters into play and recreation. So also the benefits of recreation is that it prevents obesity. Now how's that? We're talking about exercise. The child that is playing and running and having a lot of fun, they're using their body muscles, it prevents obesity. So then we're talking about exercise, and the more exercise, the stronger the body and the bones get. So it prevents the child from becoming overweight. And also, it develops the life skills and communication skills amongst the peers and the family members. It brings in new vocabularies and new concepts. If you notice the family here, they're hiking and on a trail and you see the different trees. And so that's really what recreation and play does. It opens up the family to new communication, to new words and new expressions. What are the benefits of play? And do you know, in many schools now, they are even eliminating play from the child's curriculum. They don't allow them to go outside, and many charter schools don't even have a playground. That's something I definitely disagree with. So, what are the benefits of play? Play is just not something that you do, but there's a purpose and there are benefits to playing and recreation. And this, one of the reasons is it allows for a quality of interaction between the parent and the child. We talked about that communication, bringing in new words and new ideas within the child's life. And also, it allows parents to listen to their child in different ways. If the child is playing with a ball or a bat, or if they are they're crawling around, or they're jumping, or they're dancing, all of these bring in new words and new vocabulary where the parent is beginning to listen and understand. And not only that, but a parent listens and watches because they never know when they might discover that this is the child's gift or talent. And also, parents can view the world from the child's perspective. They can learn about the child more. What pleases the child, what makes them smile, what makes them jump up and down, what makes them happy. So, play gives parents more information about the child that they live with. They're able to communicate with them better and offer guidance more effectively to the child. So really, let me say this also, that play, the absence or the denial of play should never be used as a weapon for discipline. Are there barriers or challenges to play? Yes, there are. We know that in some neighborhoods, it's not safe to play outside. We know that some places they have gangs and different kinds of activities outside, and so parents they have to live there because they can't afford to live anyplace else. But so they have to make the best of a bad situation. they cannot allow the child to go outside. So they keep them inside because it's safer on the inside. So in many impoverished areas, there's a decrease in parks and also open space. Many times there's also a decrease in the park budget. So parks many times are a sort of a place where the derelicts go, or the people that are not really very savory, and the parks are not well kept. So parents are reluctant to allow a child to go there. So that's one barrier to not going out to the park or to playing. An unsafe community, we talked about that. Too many entertaining screens, so which means that there's too much going on inside the house. TV, electronics, devices. Children are allowed to stay inside the house because they're entertained there by the TVs and the devices that are there. As a matter of fact, I was a kindergarten teacher, and I just walked outside of my room right after school was out, maybe 15, 20 minutes after school was out. And I noticed there were no children outside at all on the streets. And so I said, well, what happened to all the kids? I'm a kindergarten teacher now. And we could see right outside of the yard of my room, went right out to the street. And I said, where are the children? And then someone said, they're in front of the TV. That's where they were, in front of the TV. Now we have more than the TV. We have all kinds of game stations, and we have devices and all of that to entertain the child, which eliminates the play, which is not good for their health and well-being. Impoverished neighborhoods have less access to the arts, to music, and physical education programs. So many times it's incumbent upon the parent to have to go out and search for places where the children can go. And there are places, and many times free places, that are set aside because people know that there are some neighborhoods that are not fit for the child to go outside. So they establish other kinds of activities within certain areas within the community. And another barrier is parents just don't have time or the energy or the skills to engage in play or recreation. They just don't. Some, if there's a single mother or a single father, to make ends meet, they might be working 2 and 3 jobs. And so the child has to sit home because there's nothing else they can do. And so they are in front of a screen or a device or whatever. So many times parents don't have this time nor the energy. It's not their fault. They could do better. They would do better if they could do better. Other challenges are there are fewer resources to engage in playing activities. That might be the job of the parent to go out and start searching. Many times having to juggle a lot of different things all at once. So it's very difficult to include and incorporate recreation and play. Complex childcare arrangements if the parent or the parents are working when the child is at home or at school, and they don't, who is a caregiver, or if they're in a preschool, then many times it's a child care arrangement where they have to stay until 6 o'clock or past in order for the parents to get out of work to pick them up. Those are complex child care arrangements that they really can't overcome. So parents also are saying that they are stressed and there are socioeconomic pressures that keep them from thinking about recreation and play. Is that an excuse? No, it is not. So what are the disadvantages to not playing? We know that excessive screen time takes a toll on the mental and physical health and academic achievement of children, preschool onward. So too much screen time, it hinders a child's mental In other words, they're not thinking as well as they should. They're not using their brains as well as they should. So it takes away from their mental capacity, from their physical health, but they're not moving their bodies as they should, getting around and being active. And also, if this is the case, then they're not academically inclined as they should be. They're not excited about going to school, about being a part of what is happening in the school. There's also less psychological well-being. So we talked about before about the emotional health of the child. Play increases emotional health. Lack of it decreases it. So you have children who are not psychologically well because they're not allowed to be involved in recreation and play. Also, it impacts on their mental and physical health, both short and long term. Now, when we're talking about short and long term, that simply means now and in the future. So, if a child is growing and developing and getting older and older, we can see that a lack of play and recreation can hinder a child's mental and physical health on a long-term basis and a short-term basis. And again, we talked about it creates obesity or a child being overweight. Now, a parent might ask, okay, well, could you just help me with this? Can you give me some ideas on what I can do that might be low cost or no cost? Some things that I can take my child to. I don't have a car and I walk everywhere, but I could take the bus. All right. There are many things. First thing is you have to want to do something more. You have to want to increase a child's ability and chances for play and recreation. Now, if you want this, then you as a parent will go the extra mile. You will search for things that you can do that don't cost or there's a low cost to it. Find out where a local park is close to you that is worthy of you going there for you and your children to have a good time. Find out where that place is. All you have to do is go to the internet. If you have a computer, they'll tell you a beach. Now, you might say, well, that's so far away. Well, it might be, but get on the bus or get on the tram or the train. They'll take you there. Right here in LA, we have the metro that will take you directly to the beach. Directly to the beach. How do I know? I went on it and I got there myself. Okay, another one would be the library, no cost. Take the children to the library. What you're doing is that you're encouraging educational excellence and you're also encouraging reading. So to the library we go, make visits, maybe once or twice a month, go to the library, check out books, and then keep them for as long as you can, and then return them on time and get some more. Also, go for a walk if you need to take the bus or the metro or whatever. Find a place that's safe and or go to the mall, walk around the mall. Great place. My girlfriend and I, or my sister-in-law, we would go for a walk, and for some reason she did not like to walk in that mall. Now I had to promise that I was not going to shop, so I left my purse behind. I left everything behind to prove to her that I was going there for walking only, not for shopping. So go for walking, and maybe that's all you can do. That's a good thing to do. And to the zoo. Children love the zoo. Now, many times the zoo doesn't cost anything at all or very little. Or to the museums. They have some days where there is actually no charge to the state and county museums. Find out when they are and plan to go. Now, who doesn't like to see a good adventure movie? And you know where they're best seen? Is on the big, huge screen. What is that screen called? It's called the 3D screen. where everything is big and blown up. Children love it. So you can take the big IMAX screens, that's what they're called. And you can take the children there, plan, and many times children even at certain ages can go free and then get a little popcorn. Now, what I used to do, because I thought popcorn was just unreasonable in those places. And so I would take my son, we would go to the movies, and I would pop popcorn in a big bag and put it in his backpack. Was that okay to do? I think so. Anyway, okay. So that's what I would do. He would love it because he could eat as much popcorn as he wanted. All right. Another low cost or no cost recreation is cooking. We know that cooking increases a child's cognitive development because they are thinking and reasoning all the time. And they're also seeing different scientific structures and events. They see a solid and then they're from a liquid to a solid or to a semi-solid. They see a piece of meat or a roast cooked from being raw to now being done. They, when you cook potatoes and you beat the potatoes and they see the different spices that you put in, the butter and the milk and all of that is wonderful for a child's cognitive development. Board games. Find out the board games that are developmental for your child's age. Sit there and play them and have a great time. Now, let me tell you something. Always play to win. Tell the child, I'm playing to win. I'm not going to dumb myself down for you. And what that does is that gives the child the excitement and the impetus to keep playing until they beat you. Now, one day they're going to truly beat you, and you just have to accept that. But until then, let them know I'm playing for real. I'm not playing. I would play with my son and I would play Scrabble and all kinds of things. And I tell him, I am playing to win. So don't expect for me to let you win because you're not. And most of the time he didn't. Well, sometimes he did. All right. So board games are very great to play with. And also arts and crafts, keep things around where the child will be able to pick up and draw and color and paint and do things. You don't know whether you have an artist in your midst, and you won't know unless you expose them to that. And then musical instruments. Well, you might say, I don't have money to buy any musical instruments, and I certainly can buy a piano. Well, you know what? You can make your own instruments. Do you know that children love to beat on pots and pans with a wooden spoon? Now, if you don't have a pot or a pan, I don't believe that's the case, but if in case you don't, go to the 99-cent store. Buy an old pot or old pan or a plastic bucket or something and a plastic spoon and bring it home and let the child be. Turn on some music and let them make their own music. Also, you can use boxes, cereal boxes, those kinds of things that are shoe box to make your own musical instruments. You make yours, they make theirs, and then off goes an orchestra. Have a great time making music. They love it. Now, what I want you to remember is this: the family that plays together stays together. And that's really true. The more fun you have, the more activity you have, the more together you are with one another, the more communication, the more caring, the more than likely you will stay together and your child will be anxious and agreeable to do what you want them to do because they are connected to you and your rules and they want to please you. So thank you so much for your attendance.